Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at fat loss.
Okay.
So this will be interesting, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're going to be focusing on using the sources that you sent us.
Right.
So we've got this academic paper that breaks down all the science of how fat loss actually happens.
Yeah.
And then we've got a whole bunch of excerpts that talk about things like supplements that are supposed to help you burn fat,
Mhm.
different foods that are supposed to help you burn fat,
Right.
and even some diets.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you've got such a variety of sources there. You've got the science side of things, and then you've got all the practical applications too. So
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, I think that that's important to have that variety
I think so.
because otherwise we're just kind of speculating.
Exactly.
But here with these sources, we've got something to ground our speculation in.
I agree.
Um, so what I found really interesting was that the research paper talks a lot about different types of adipose tissue. And I have to admit, I was today years old when I learned that there are different types of fat in your body.
Most people just think of fat as one thing, right?
You know, I was thinking like, yeah, it's fat, it's bad, you get rid of it.
Right.
But apparently it's not that simple.
No, it isn't at all. And actually, that's a really important point that, different types of fat can have different roles in the body.
Okay. So break it down for us. What different kinds of fat are there?
Sure. So the kind that we usually think about, the one that we're trying to get rid of, that's called white adipose tissue, or WAT.
What?
WAT.
Yeah.
And that's basically just energy storage.
Okay, so that's like the fat that you can like pinch.
Exactly. That's the stuff that we accumulate when we eat more calories than we burn.
Okay, got it.
But then there's this other type of fat called brown adipose tissue,
Brown adipose tissue.
or BAT.
BAT.
And BAT is actually pretty cool
Okay.
because unlike WAT, which stores energy, BAT actually burns energy.
Wait, so there's a type of fat that burns calories.
Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
It's kind of like having a little furnace inside of you.
So how does that work?
BAT is packed with these things called mitochondria.
I've heard of those. Are those like the powerhouses of the cell or something?
Exactly. And the mitochondria in BAT, they use energy to generate heat.
Hmm.
So essentially, BAT helps regulate body temperature.
So like when we shiver when it's cold?
That's part of it. Yeah.
So does that mean like if we had more BAT, we could burn more calories without even trying?
Well, that's what scientists are trying to figure out.
Oh, wow.
There's actually a lot of research going on right now looking at ways to increase BAT or make it more active.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, because if we could find a way to harness the power of BAT, it could be a game changer for weight management.
So potentially we could just turn up the BAT
Yeah.
and melt away the watt.
Maybe not that simple, but you get the idea.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, okay, we know there's these two different types of fat.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that one stores energy and the other one burns energy.
Yeah.
But how does the fat actually, like, how do we actually lose fat? What happens to it?
Well, it doesn't just disappear from the fat cells.
Okay.
What happens is when your body needs energy, it sends signals to the fat cells to release the fat into the bloodstream.
So it's like it gets mobilized.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the fat travels to the muscles and other tissues where it can be used as fuel.
Okay.
So it's more like a redistribution of energy than a complete elimination of fat.
So it's not like the fat cell just shrinks and stays shrunk. It's more like it's constantly being emptied and refilled.
In a way, yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Okay, so that's really helpful, I think, to understand that.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to this whole concept of fat burners, right?
Right. Yeah. We've got all these sources here about supplements and foods and things that are supposed to help you burn fat faster.
Yeah, like there are a lot of claims out there
Dear Par.
about like, take this pill and you'll just melt away the fat.
Mm-hmm.
But based on what we've just talked about, it seems like it's not that simple.
No, definitely not. Some of these things might help a little bit.
Like-
For example, caffeine can increase the release of fat from the fat cells.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why a lot of those fat burning supplements have caffeine in them.
Okay, so it's not like it's actually burning the fat. It's just helping it get released into the bloodstream.
Right.
Okay, so that's one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, there's also green tea extract.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it contains these compounds called catechins that might boost your metabolism a little bit.
So you're saying might.
Yeah, the research is still kind of mixed on that.
Okay, so it's not like a guaranteed thing.
Right. And it's important to remember that even if something does help you burn a few extra calories, it's not going to make a huge difference if you're not also eating a healthy diet and exercising regularly.
It sounds like there's no magic bullet.
No, we're not really.
It's more like a combination of things working together.
Exactly. And, with any kind of supplement, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor first.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because there could be side effects or interactions with other medications that you're taking.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point,
Yeah.
especially because a lot of these supplements are marketed as being natural,
Mm-hmm.
but just because something is natural doesn't mean it's safe.
Right. Natural doesn't always equal safe.
And especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions, you definitely want to get your doctor's okay before you start taking anything new.
Absolutely. It's always better to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, totally.
So I think, instead of getting caught up in all the hype about fat burners, we should really focus on the things that we know make a difference,
Yeah.
like eating a healthy diet and exercising regularly.
Okay, so let's talk about that because I know a lot of people, when they hear diet, they think like restriction and deprivation,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
but it doesn't have to be that way.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. I mean, a healthy diet should be enjoyable
Okay, good.
and it should be sustainable.
Okay, so how do we make it sustainable?
Well, I think the first step is to focus on the building blocks, so to speak.
Okay.
The macronutrients, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates.
So all the things that people usually try to avoid.
Well, not all of them. I mean, fats have gotten a bad rap,
Oh, okay.
but the truth is not all fats are created equal.
Okay, so break it down for me. What kinds of fats should we be eating?
Well, there are good fats and bad fats.
Okay.
And the good fats, the ones that are actually good for you and can even help you burn fat, those are called unsaturated fats.
Okay, unsaturated fats, got it.
Yeah, and those are found in things like avocados, nuts, fatty fish, and olive oil.
So like healthy fats.
Exactly.
Okay, so those are the good guys.
Yeah, and then there are the bad fats, the ones that you want to limit. Those are called saturated and trans fats.
Okay, and those are found in.
Well, saturated fats are found in things like red meat and full-fat dairy products,
Okay.
and trans fats are found in processed foods and fried foods.
So basically the stuff that we all know we should be limiting anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
good fats, good, bad fats, bad.
Exactly.
Got it.
Now, protein is also really important for fat loss.
Okay, why is that?
Well, for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
First of all, it helps you feel full and satisfied after you eat.
Well, that's good because I get hungry.
Yeah, and when you're trying to lose weight, it's important to find ways to manage your hunger.
Right, because if you're starving all the time, you're more likely to give in to cravings.
Exactly.
Okay, so protein helps with that.
And it also helps boost your metabolism.
How does it do that?
Well, it takes more energy for your body to digest protein than it does to digest carbs or fats.
Oh, interesting.
So you actually burn more calories just by eating protein.
So that's why they say like a high protein diet can help you lose weight.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And protein also helps preserve muscle mass.
Okay, why is that important?
Well, muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does.
Oh, interesting.
So the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism will be.
Okay, so it's like a double whammy.
Yeah, you're burning more calories while you're eating, and you're burning more calories even when you're just sitting around.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so protein, good.
Protein, very good.
What about carbs?
Well, carbs are a bit more complicated.
Okay, how so?
Well, there are good carbs and bad carbs, just like with fats.
Okay.
And the good carbs are the ones that are complex and unrefined.
Okay, and those are found in?
Things like whole grains, fruits, and vegetables.
So the stuff that's good for you anyway.
Exactly. And those carbs provide your body with sustained energy, and they're also packed with nutrients and fiber.
Okay, so those are the good guys.
Yeah. And then there are the bad carbs, the ones that you want to limit.
Which are?
Those are the simple and refined carbs like white bread, white rice, and sugary drinks.
So basically processed foods and sugary stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
Those carbs cause your blood sugar to spike, which can lead to cravings and energy crashes.
And they don't really provide any nutritional value.
Exactly. They're just empty calories.
Okay, so we've got good fats, good carbs, and good protein.
Mm-hmm.
What about all the other stuff, the micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all that jazz?
Well, those are important too.
Okay, in what way?
Well, they play a supporting role in weight management.
Okay.
Like, for example, calcium and vitamin D have been linked to fat loss.
Really?
Yeah, some studies have shown that people who get enough calcium and vitamin D tend to lose more weight than people who don't.
Huh. That's interesting. I always thought of calcium as being good for bones and vitamin D for mood.
Well, they are good for those things too,
Okay.
but they also play a role in weight management.
So how do they work?
Well, calcium may help regulate how fat is stored and released from fat cells.
Okay.
And vitamin D might improve insulin sensitivity.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Well, insulin is a hormone that helps your body use glucose for energy.
Okay.
And when your body is sensitive to insulin, it means that it can use glucose more efficiently.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And when your insulin sensitivity is impaired, it can lead to weight gain.
Okay, so basically calcium and vitamin D help our bodies use energy more efficiently,
Exactly.
and that can help us lose weight.
Right.
Okay, so it seems like building a balanced diet with plenty of good fats, good carbs, good protein, and all the essential micronutrients is a solid foundation for fat loss.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've got our foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Now we can start to look at some specific foods that might give your fat burning an extra boost.
So I'm all ears.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the science of fat, the different types of fat,
Mm-hmm.
all the different nutrients and how they play into this.
Yeah.
We've even touched on those so-called fat burners.
Right.
It feels like we've got a good foundation now.
I think so.
So what's next? I mean, how do we actually put all this knowledge into action?
Right. Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to start seeing some results.
Okay. Well, the cornerstone of any successful fat loss plan is creating a calorie deficit.
Okay, so that means burning more calories than you consume.
Exactly.
Okay, but how do I figure out how many calories I should be eating?
Well, there are a lot of different ways to do that.
Okay.
You can use an online calorie calculator,
Okay.
or you can talk to a registered dietitian.
Mm-hmm.
They can help you figure out your individual calorie needs based on your age, your gender, your activity level, all that good stuff.
Okay, so it's not one size fits all.
Definitely not.
Okay, so once I know how many calories I should be eating, how do I actually reduce my calorie intake?
Well, there are a few things you can do.
Okay.
One is to focus on eating nutrient-rich foods.
Okay, so like fruits, vegetables, lean protein, whole grains.
Exactly. Those foods are packed with nutrients and fiber, which helps keep you feeling full and satisfied.
Okay, so I won't be starving all the time.
Right. And they're also relatively low in calories.
Okay, so quality over quantity.
Exactly.
What else?
Well, another thing you can do is be mindful of portion sizes.
Okay, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I tend to eyeball it.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to overeat if you're not paying attention to how much you're putting on your plate.
Okay, so measuring cups and spoons are my friends.
They can be. Yeah.
Okay, what about eating out?
Oh, that can be tricky.
Yeah, because you don't really have control over the portion sizes.
Right, and restaurant portions tend to be huge.
Yeah.
So one thing you can do is ask for a to-go box right away
Okay.
and put half of your meal in the box before you even start eating.
Okay, so I'm only eating half of what's on my plate.
Right. And then you have leftovers for another meal.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, what about snacking?
Well, snacking can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay.
It really depends on what you're snacking on.
Okay, so healthy snacks, good, unhealthy snacks, bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so what are some healthy snack options?
Well, fruits and vegetables are always a good choice.
Okay.
You can also have things like nuts and seeds, yogurt, hard-boiled eggs.
Okay, so basically things that are high in protein and fiber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those nutrients will help keep you feeling full and satisfied until your next meal.
Okay, so we've talked about what to eat.
Mm-hmm.
What about what to drink?
Well, the best thing to drink is water.
Okay, I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's really important to stay hydrated.
Okay.
And water is calorie-free, so it's not going to sabotage your efforts.
Okay, so no soda, no juice.
Well, you can have those things occasionally,
Yeah.
but it's best to limit them
Okay.
because they're loaded with sugar and empty calories.
Okay, so water it is.
Water is your best friend.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about diet.
Mm-hmm.
What about exercise?
Well, exercise is also really important for fat loss.
Okay, why is that?
Well, it helps you burn calories,
Okay.
and it also helps build muscle.
Okay, and we talked about that earlier, how muscle burns more calories at rest than fat.
Exactly.
Okay, so what kind of exercise should I be doing?
Well, the best type of exercise is the type that you enjoy and that you'll stick with.
Okay.
But in general, you want to aim for a combination of cardio and strength training.
Okay, so cardio, like running, biking,
I'm
swimming,
used-
and strength training, like lifting weights.
Right.
Okay, and how often should I be exercising?
Well, the general recommendation is to aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio per week,
Okay,
or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity cardio.
okay,
And you should also aim for at least 2 days of strength training per week.
okay. So that's a lot?
It doesn't have to be all at once.
Okay.
You can break it up into smaller chunks.
Okay, like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
Okay,
And remember, it's important to listen to your body.
okay.
Don't push yourself too hard, especially when you're first starting out.
Okay, so start slow
Yeah.
and gradually increase the intensity.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Now, beyond diet and exercise, there are a few other things that can help you lose fat.
Okay, like what?
Well, one is getting enough sleep.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that sleep is important.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Why? Well, when you don't get enough sleep, your body produces more of the stress hormone cortisol.
Okay.
And cortisol can lead to weight gain. Yeah, so aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night.
Okay, I'll try.
And another thing that can help is managing stress.
Okay. Yeah, stress is definitely a part of my life.
Yeah, well, stress also increases cortisol levels. So it's important to find healthy ways to manage stress.
Okay, like what?
Well, exercise is a great stress reliever.
Okay.
You can also try things like yoga meditation, spending time in nature.
Okay, so basically things that help me relax.
Exactly.
Okay, so it seems like fat loss is about more than just diet and exercise.
It is. Yeah, it's really about taking a holistic approach to your health.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's about making lifestyle changes that support your overall well-being.
Okay, so it's not just about fitting into a smaller pair of jeans.
Right. It's about feeling good in your own skin.
I love that.
Yeah, and when you feel good, you're more likely to stick with your healthy habits.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah, I feel like I have a much better understanding of how to approach fat loss.
Well, that's the goal. Yeah.
I want to empower you to make informed decisions about your health.
Well, you've definitely done that.
I'm glad to hear it.
But we're not quite done yet.
Right.
We'll be right back to wrap things up and offer some final thoughts on your fat loss journey.
All right, we are back and ready to kind of wrap up our fat loss deep dive.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground here, I think, you know.
Yeah, we really have.
We've talked about the science, we've talked about strategies, we've talked about the importance of a holistic approach. So what would you say is like the one thing people should take away from all this?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that there's no quick fix.
Yeah,
Fat loss is a journey,
it is.
and it takes time and effort.
Yeah, there are no shortcuts.
Exactly.
Like it's no magic bullets,
Right.
but there are things that we can do
Absolutely.
that can make a difference.
Yeah, small changes can add up over time.
Okay, so what's like a small changes someone could make today?
Well, one really easy thing is to start drinking more water.
Okay, yeah, water's good for you.
It is, and it's calorie-free.
So it's not going to sabotage my efforts.
Exactly.
Okay, so swap out the soda for water.
Yeah, and the juice and the sugary coffee drinks.
All the good stuff.
Right.
Water. What else?
Well, another thing you can do is make sure you're getting enough sleep.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, sleep is so important for overall health.
It is.
And it also plays a role in weight management.
Okay, so how much sleep should I be getting?
Well, most adults need around 7 to 8 hours per night,
Okay.
but some people might need more or less.
Okay, so listen to your body.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Well, another thing you can do is find healthy ways to manage stress.
Yeah, stress is a killer.
It is, and it can lead to weight gain.
Oh.
So it's important to find things that help you relax.
Okay, like what?
Well, exercise is a great stress reliever.
Okay.
And so are things like yoga meditation, spending time in nature.
Okay, so basically self-care.
Exactly.
Okay, so it seems like fat loss is really about taking care of yourself.
It is, yeah. It's about making choices that support your physical and mental health.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, it's not about punishing yourself.
Right.
It's about nourishing yourself.
Okay, so be kind to yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to start putting all of this into practice.
Well, I wish you all the best on your journey.
Thank you.
And remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
So true.
Just keep making those small changes day by day, and you'll eventually reach your goals.
I love that advice. And that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.